So I'm sure you've got a couple of story or two about these polarizing Bigfoot characters. You feel like sharing something regarding some of those guys?
Give you a list of some of the researchers that I was in touch with early on.
Great.
By way of postal mail, John Green, Rene DeHinden, Dr. Grover Krantz, Bob Titmus, let's see, Peter Byrne. And Peter Byrne, of all the people those 5 people that I've just mentioned, Peter Byrne is still living.
Yeah.
The others have passed away, but I was told maybe a couple of years back that someone made a comment to me that someone attended a Bigfoot conference and they said, well, who's John Green? And so that's like wanting to know a little bit about basketball and saying like, well, who's Kobe Bryant? And so I'll tell you some stories about them if you'd like.
Yes, I would love to hear some. I mean, it's rare to have somebody on the show with your background and your ability to tell, share anecdotes and stories. So have at it, Dan.
Well, John Green and Rene DeHinden were partners early on in the quest for the Sasquatch Bigfoot. And they eventually had a falling out. And I guess the falling out was probably due to several things, but John Green was of the opinion that the data needed to be shared beyond just them. Rene DeHinden was of the opinion that we should just keep the data to ourselves because we wanted to be the lucky people to find a Sasquatch. And as you can see, that was a long time ago. So they eventually split up. And so maybe they didn't have animosity towards one another, but they were estranged, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so one of the stories, when I drove up to Canada, flew up to Canada, flew into Seattle, and then got a rental car and went up to Canada to see John Green. But it was for the now defunct Sasquatch Symposium, which was in Harrison Hot Springs.
Okay.
So one morning, and by the way, John Green and Rene DeHinden were both at the conference, but never said boo to one another. So we made a decision. I think it was myself, Tom Steenberg, John Green, and Stephen Harvey to go have breakfast one morning. And so as I'm driving from John Green's house to the restaurant place, and everyone in the vehicle knew that John Green and Rene DeHinden were estranged. And I made a passing comment to the whole group. And I said, because the way Rene was, I said something like, I bet Rene DeHinden never read the book, How to Influence People and Win Friends. And John, it was the loudest laughter I ever got from John Green. He just could not stop talking.